What is going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Collecting Profit, episode number 102. Man, 102 weeks in a row. We'll be coming back here, showing up. Typically Wednesdays, every now and again, had to throw a Tuesday in. Every now and again, had to throw a Thursday in. Like, for instance, in 2 weeks, hopefully everything goes right. We'll be on Thursday night, maybe on location, but probably going to be on Thursday night instead. Maddie, what's going on? Dom, how's it going? So, we're going there. Supposed to have a guest, reached out. Haven't heard anything. Hopefully, person will show up. They do, they don't, who cares? So, man, big week in baseball. The winter meetings and trades are going on, and holy cow, some things that are going on. The Rangers are getting Jake Burger from the Miami Marlins. They're going to trade 2 shortstop prospects, Vargas and Acosta, and they are going to also get left-handed Brian Menendez. So, not that big of a deal. Dommy, you should, I guess if you'd be happy, I'm not 100% sure, but the Blue Jays are going to get Jimenez from the Guardians. The Guardians are going to get Spencer Horwitz from the deal, but then they turned around and took Horwitz. They traded him to the Pirates for Luis Ortiz. So, the Larkin, how you doing, buddy? So your Blue Jays, your guy there, Dami, going to the Blue Jays, Mr. Andres Jimenez. Nathan Eovaldi re-signed, with your Rangers. The Yankees got Max Fried, 8 years, $218 million. How do you guys feel about Max Fried going for $218 million? What do you think? Big John, what is up, my man? What is up? Happy birthday, Big John. What do you guys think of the Max Fried deal? 8 years, $218 million. Is that good, bad? What do we think? The Yankees are keeping Loaiza. Big trade today. The big trade was the Garrett Crockett or Crochet. I'm not saying I'm saying Crockett. Going from the White Sox to the Red Sox. Very, very interesting. The White Sox gave up 2 first-round draft picks. I was very, very surprised to see that they gave up Kyle Teal, the catcher Kyle Teal from this year. I thought they were very high on him. Very surprised. They also gave up Braden Montgomery. That's the guy they drafted number 1 last year. And 2 basically lower end ones. Very surprised. I thought they would maybe get more for him. I know with they did get 2 first rounders, so I guess maybe they did. I know from the Mets they wanted more from them. And then there is the big one, folks. The big one. Broke Sunday night. That's right. Juan Soto, baby. Soto Mania. Coming to Queens, New York. What a contract. I'm not going to lie. Never thought that contract was going to get that high. I mean, I knew I knew Cohen was going to do what he needed to do. I just never expected the Yankees to go that high. It's kind of crazy. That 2 teams are willing to pay this young man $760 million. All these contracts are going to backfire big time. I guess. I'm not sure. I don't know, what's gonna happen. Um, it is definitely gonna be interesting to see, what they do. I'm not sure. You know, not gonna lie. I mean, again, depending on how many years it has, but I mean, if you can get 10 good years out of Soto, I mean, then it's not that bad of a deal. Max Fried one surprised me. I never expected him to get 8 years. That one was really a shocker. And if he's going to get 8 years, what's Corbin going to get? So that's going to be interesting. The Cubs might trade Suzuki. What? Maddie saw that, Johnny. Soto getting paid more than Judge and Witt combined by a ton. Stupid contract. You know, they're all stupid contracts. And let's face it, you know, Judge, I mean, he, probably, I'm not saying he could have got more, but again, you have to understand something with Juan Soto. Yes, he's been in baseball for so long. What's up, Blaze? How you doing, buddy? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. The Blaze, how you doing? Soto is a bit scary. You know, I think if you're gonna compare it to some of these other guys who got these big deals, how old were they when they got those big deals? I mean, how many of them were 26 years old and put up the kind of numbers that he put up? Bobby Witt didn't get the money that he probably could get on the open market because he decided to stay in Kansas City. Let's face it. If Bobby Witt decides, hey, I'm leaving, I'm going to California, or I'm going to New York, or maybe I'm going to Boston, Bobby Witt is going to get a nice size contract. You know, I mean, so I mean that unfortunately, that is what it is. But I don't. I mean, again, people, have to remember how old Juan Soto is. He's 26. He's not 30, and you're giving him this kind of money for that. It's. I mean, and all I'll say is this: for the people that anybody, not necessarily. I'm not even talking people in the chat, but I've seen posts on Facebooks, I've seen posts on X, I've seen stuff on IG, seen comments on videos on YouTube. I mean, I don't. I mean, what are you going to do about it? The owners are going to spend what they're going to spend. Okay. And it is what it is. Again, when if you really sit back and look at it from a standpoint of the Soto contract is scary, but he's getting paid each year. The more scary one has got to be Otani, who only is only getting $2 million a year for the net, for the total of his contract, 10 years. And then he gets money, he gets 68 million a year for the 10 years after that. That's kind of crazy also. I can only hope the Pirates pay Skeens. That's going to be a tough one, Blaze, because if he continues on this trajectory, I mean, obviously, with with arbitration and stuff like that, but you know, if he stays on the trajectory that he's going, and he doesn't blow out his arm, I mean, you're looking at a $300 million pitcher, maybe even a $400 million pitcher. So I mean, that's going to be crazy. Allegedly, what's allegedly? Johnny, what's up? How you doing, buddy? Got the package. Thank you very much. God bless to you. Thanks for coming. You think there should be a salary cap in baseball? I mean, do I think there should be one? I guess it would be nice, but are you going to make it small enough to where small market teams are going to try and get there? Like, let's say you made the salary cap 200 million. Would the you know, would the Pirates get to 200 million? Would the Minnesota Twins get to 200 million? Would the Tampa Bay Rays get to 200 million? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, don't ask Mets fans that. Ask Mets fans what? Oh, about a salary cap? Yeah, I mean, I don't you know, I like I said, I don't necessarily, if you're gonna have a ceiling, you need to have a floor. I kind of like they do in hockey, because the thing is, like I said, you know, um, you know, how many teams, how high do you have to make it to where all the, like, how do you do it? How do you at what point do you do it? Because how does it work with deferred money? How does it work with all the contracts that are signed today? 5 years down the road, what do you rip up all the contracts for everybody and make them work? You cut pay. The union won't go for it. I mean, it'd be a the owners would have to strike, and they would have to lose probably 2 years worth of baseball, in my opinion, before it would happen. Yep, you have been. Alonso going to Washington. I can't see Mets giving in. So here's what you have to understand something about the New York Mets. What a lot of people don't realize, even at right now with Juan Soto, and this is going to sound silly because of the number. This year's payroll is only, and I say only, which is pretty stupid. It's only $241 million. They probably have another 75 million to spend. Sean, what's happening, buddy? Hate to agree with most, but the Pirates need new ownership first. That's an issue. He doesn't want to spend. He admits it. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. Some of these guys, they get their revenue sharing money and stuff like that. Before Steve Ballmer bought the LA Clippers, one of the richest franchises, and they weren't winning, was the Clippers, under Sterling and everything. And he didn't pay anybody, stuff like that. And he was making a crap ton of money. Crap ton of money, you know? Jacksonville and Green Bay is well, yes, you're talking a completely different sport. You can't compare what they do in football to what they do in baseball, because even in Jacksonville, they're gonna have a good crowd and stuff like that. You can't go ahead and you can't go ahead and have the Chicago White Sox have to spend $200 million, or make the cap 200 million. They don't come near it, and they're only putting 187 fans in the ballpark. Mets payroll is 230 right now. Have to stay under 301. They have plenty of room. Okay, it was 230. I thought it was 240, but I mean, they're gonna be all right. Sean Manny's here. Who we got? Nats are talking to Walker, who's a much better player. Yeah, I think Walker is. I wouldn't call Walker a much better player. Not sure what you are using as much better. Um, his defense is not, it's not like Pete is a really crappy defender. If you look at the fielding percentages this year, they weren't not very far apart. I think actually Pete was in top 10 of first baseman. So I don't know how much better of a player he is when you compare numbers, to numbers. Just sucks, and I got to fight 3 Mets fans during breaks if I just to grab a soda. Well, we could always just go ahead and share. That's true. They do have a billionaire owner who also helps out with AEW. Well, I mean, if you see, but like, if you're okay, you're the Nationals, you're gonna sign Walker or Alonso. I mean, let's face it, you're still probably battling for 4th place. No Soto for you, Beast. Ha ha ha. Damn. We will have to share. There's just no way about it. You know, I think, I think when, again, to me, in my opinion, when it comes to baseball, when it comes to all that kind of stuff, I just don't think you can ever get teams to agree to it at this point. AJ, what is happening, buddy? How you doing? Thanks for popping in. I just don't know if you can make it happen, Blazed. And I think that's the problem you have. That's why I think, if you almost need a floor more than you need a ceiling. A floor will force teams to spend and maybe kind of sort of hopefully, be competitive. A ceiling does nothing, in my opinion. Well, if I get no Soto, you will get other certain cards. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Dom. Uh-oh, Dom. You know what that means? You know? You know what that means, Dommy. But do I think the salary's crazy? Hell yeah. I do think it is. Hey, Craig, how you doing, pal? Thanks for popping in. Maddie with some squares. I'm not sure what that is. I think when you look at I think like I said, in my opinion, I think when you look at what is going on with the salaries and stuff, yes, it's definitely crazy. Looking at what you have coming up, some of the younger players that you have in the league right now, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. What happens to a Gunnar Henderson? What happens to an Adelaide? Um, when you look at, Witt kind of taken care of, Rodriguez kind of taken care of, unless they have buyouts. I don't know if they do opt outs or if they don't. But again, what do you got there? Skeens there. So Jackson Churio, Jackson Merrill, Jackson Holiday, the three Jacksons, the Jackson three. What's going to happen with them? How will they be? Where are their numbers going to be? To me, I don't know if who's that next generational. It's funny that Ohtani was a generational player, but now you're looking at Soto and saying, well, hey, with the deal he got, is he kind of sort of a generational player? I don't know. Dre, what is going on? How you doing? Thanks for popping in, sir, ma'am, sir. We don't have Tito Jackson, but we have Tito's. So the the three Jacksons, the Jackson three probably aren't even old enough to go have any Tito's. But like I said, the surprise. I am surprised with the Crockett deal. I thought they gave up two good, prospects, two first round picks. We'll see. A catcher, you can get a good catcher, man. You get a solid catcher. You're looking good and everything. Cubs and Yanks are in talks about Belly. Yep, they are. Oh, yeah, about bringing Belly to New York. Look, don't be surprised. I don't know if they would do it out of pure spite. But don't be surprised if the Yankees, go after Pete Alonso, to say, hey, you took one of ours, we're taking one of yours, although we got two of theirs. That's beside the point. You know, um, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do. I'm not. Honestly, John, I thought he was going to retire. Winning the World Series, not in the excuse me, not in the the pandemic year, but actually winning a World Series. I really thought that he would retire. I thought he would say, "Hey, you know what? No sense in me going ahead and messing around my back, stuff like that." But AJ said, "Clayton, screw you. You ain't leaving. We need you. We need you to repeat." Um, you know, so when you look at that, in baseball, we still got some big fish out there. You still got Corbin Burns. That's going to be an interesting one. What did the Max Fried deal Do for Corbin Burns. Corbin is 30 years old. Max is 30 years old. So I mean, is Burns an 8-year player worth 200 and something million? That's crazy. Burns to the D-backs. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I think, all I'm gonna say is if Freed got 8 for 218, you're either gonna have to bump up the yearly average for Burns, or do you get him to sign, for 8 also? Does he get an 8 for 240? Does he get 30 million a year? So preferably the Dodgers. Man, if the Dodgers add him and they add what's the Japanese guy's name? Um, the guy who's gonna go ahead and go into the who posted, what the heck's his name? One of you guys will put it in there. Gotta talk to Nats office, see if they can pick up Clayton, Walker, Burns, and Alonso. Well, what do you Walker and Walker Bueller, or Walker as in Christian Walker? Walker the pitcher, or Walker the first baseman? Supposedly the Mets still have some interest in Walker Bueller. Mets gotta get. I mean, well, that's true. AJ, that's right. John, you got your World Series. Stop being a greedy son of a bitch. All right, just stop it. Pitcher, and his name is Yamamoto. I think so. What's the other? Is it Sasaki, Suzuki, Saki? I'm not sure, but him. If the Dodgers go ahead and get him, man, that's right. Stop being greedy. You know what? Yeah. No, you don't need any more. It's a tough battle. You got a tough battle. You got, you know, when you look at, and all kidding aside from what you're looking at, the Phillies, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I have a funny feeling that the Phillies are going to make a play for Mike Trout to put him in left field and DH. It's just a feeling I got. I don't know if it is, but it's just something. Bring him back home, closer to New Jersey. That's what I think. The issue you have, is a lot of people don't realize, the baseball team from Georgia, no matter how much I hate them, they're not an old team. Now they have to figure out what they're going to do with that pitching because they just lost a really good piece in Max Fried. But they're young also. It isn't like they'll have a bunch of, 34, 35-year-old guys, you know. You look at the Mets, relatively speaking, they are somewhat a younger team. Yes, they have guys in their 30s, but when you look at it overall, they are a younger team. And the thing, what you look at with the Mets is they're trying to figure out how they going to fit in, a Ronnie Mauricio, how they going to fit in a Luis Angel Acuna, how they going to fit in Gilbert, how they going to fit in Sproat, how they going to fit in Jet Williams. So they still have some figured out to do with some young stuff. So it's gonna be interesting. I agree. He stated he wants to retire close to home, but do the Phillies have a decent farm team? Angels could use a good yeah, and that's where I'm saying I it would take Titus, my man. Welcome from the land of the rising sun. I agree, John. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. It would cost young talent. And I don't know what the Phillies have from a young talent perspective. Now, there was some people saying that the Red Sox could have made some kind of a deal and gone ahead and with Yoshida and maybe a couple of their young guys to bring Trout and have him play left field there. That would be interesting. Him 81 games in that ballpark, just bing, ping, pinging balls off the, you know, off the green monster. Gonna take you to the promised land. Not gonna happen. One guy is not gonna do it. But what I will tell you this, um, I think it could go ahead and it could help from a standpoint, yeah, if big if giant if this means maybe some other guys are willing to take a little less to come to help play the team. I mean, from a baseball perspective, I couldn't agree more with you. I don't. He's definitely not worth 760 million. But I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to make close to that amount of money in jersey sales alone between the home whites, the roads. If they go to the alternate jersey, the city jersey, they'll probably sell almost $1 billion in Juan Soto jerseys. That and look, it's not. I understand. Oh, who pays? We pay because we can't go to a baseball game because the hot dog is going to be $32 and a beer is going to be $45. You know what? Yeah, yep. You might be right, and that's what's going to cost, and that's fine. What I like, I mean, I've always liked going to minor league games more than major league games, but I'll go to a major league game. I mean, I'll definitely go, to go to see a stadium and stuff like that. And I don't really, I won't drink a lot of beer. You know, some of the stadiums let you bring stuff in. So you know what? I'll buy a bag of peanuts and buy a big ass bottle of water or a Powerade or something, and bring it in. There are stadiums that let you, bring the stuff in. So you do what you got to do from that standpoint. Um, but I think again, at the end of the day, I remember when George Steinbrenner was the first one to do this kind of stuff, and everybody hated him. Everybody hated him. Became the axe of evil. Became even more hated and more hated. But his team won world championships. And as a fan, even Blaze, you went ahead, and mentioned it. And even Blaze, mentioned it. Even Blaze went ahead and mentioned it earlier about will they go ahead and pay? Will they not pay? You know what? Somebody's gonna somebody's gonna be willing to pay. And if the owner's not willing to go ahead and do it, then why would you root for the team? Like, who doesn't want the owner of their team to do whatever it takes to win a championship? Who? I mean, you know, I I mean, I do. When Steve Cohen bought the team and we finally had an owner who had the means, when we had an owner who's worth $21 billion, I was extremely happy with I'm happy with what he wanted to do, what he wanted to spend, the taxes of this, that, and the everything. I don't really care that much about it. It doesn't make a difference to me. Okay. Because even if I go, I mean, I live down in Georgia. It's going to be a special trip for me to go to City Field. So it's not like I'm going to be going a bunch of games anyway. So whoop de doo. Well, so he does have the 5 year, out, depending on the dollars and cents, right? So in reality, you know, you could say, look, it's a 5 year contract. Who knows what happens? But it's gonna be. Doing whatever it takes isn't sustainable, though. Is it? Isn't it? How much money is Steve Cohen going to lose playing for the Mets with the network, with the sale, the jersey sales, all that kind of stuff? I think it's all relative. Draft pick status, international money. We've never. How big of a player have we been in the international? I mean, I don't disagree with you. You know, draft pick status, okay. International money. I mean, you can work deals where you can gain international money in trades and stuff. Mets owners kind of like my skins owner. Yeah. We get lower picks for qualifying offers. That's right. We get picks, though. He sold them? No. Is that bad? No. I'm just being told hot off the presses that the Mets have sold their AA and AAA team. Yeah. Steve Cohen sold, so he's reaping some benefits back. Probably not a lot, but Ryan, how you doing, buddy? You know, lower picks for qualifying offers. Yeah, but they're still going to be what between the first and the second round. I mean, all these things are great. You know, I mean, we finally are hitting on some. Well, we're on our own picks. You think about it: Pete Alonso, Nimmo, Alvarez, and I think we drafted Vientos. But the young guys you got coming up: Acuna trade, Gilbert trade, Clifford trade. That's okay. You got to pay to play. So, in all honesty, Dom, in all honesty, in the next 5 years, if the Mets are in the hunt for potential World Series wins, and let's say you win 2 out of the next 5, are you really going to care about that 4th round pick? Yeah, but when is he was was he a Rule 5 guy? Did he get picked up in the did he get picked up? See Smith, Liam Hicks, Garrett McDaniels, Noah Murdoch. And Phillies took Mike Vassell. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. I mean, when you look at it, Dom, to be honest with you, um, he kind of sort of had fallen out of favor. With the team, his stock was actually he was actually going the wrong way. I don't know if they don't even have him on here anymore. I don't think. Wow, they moved him. They got rid of him that fast. Holy cannolis. Let me see where he is on the Phillies. So what he had so now he has to be with the big league club the entire year, right? If I remember correctly, that's how Rule 5 works. So there's a chance he may go ahead and he may come back. Well, you are a grumpy prick, and you're just not going to go ahead and be freaking happy with it. Okay, I mean, let's call it what it is. But Vassal, uh, yeah, 50, yeah. So they either have to that or they sell him back. Yep. So I don't know. I'm not saying I know. I don't know whether he'd be there, but when you look at it from the standpoint of is he had kind of fallen down. He'd come out of the top 10, and when you look at their projected top 10, they have 4 pitchers in their top 10. So, um, not saying it, not saying it's bad that we lost him. Um, but I don't think it is as bad as it could be. I think part of the problem is you went ahead and oh, guess what? So Mike Vesal wasn't with the Phillies for too long. After the Phillies selected the right-hander in the Rule 5 draft, they turned around and flipped him to the Tampa Bay Rays. So Vassell is actually a Tampa Bay Ray. He's been suffering a lot of injuries, stuff like that. I mean, you get think about it. He was an 8th-round draft pick in 2021. He struggled the last couple seasons with his ERA. Be interesting. The Rays could go ahead and turn him around. So off topic, let's talk some football. Do you think the Eagles beat the Steelers in Philly? Will the Skins beat the Saints? Bucks over the Chargers factor. Eagles, Steelers toss up. Not sure. If the Skins don't beat the Saints, they don't deserve to make the playoffs. Bucks over the Chargers. It's a toss up for me. Falcons over the Raiders. So, as a Jets fan, I'm going to hope the Raiders win, gives them another W, maybe pushes the Jets up a draft pick. Me in trouble, go out drinking, Ryan. What a stinker from Monday Night Football. Last week or this week? Are you talking about what is coming up there? What are we looking at? Oh, my goodness gracious. They're doing a double header on Monday Night Football. Bears, Minnesota, Atlanta, and Vegas. Ouch. They also have the Bears and the Vikings. Monday night is a double header, or two games at one game starts at 8, the other game starts at 8:30. The Thursday game potentially would have had great potential, could have had potential to be a great game. The Rams against the 49ers. But my gosh, what the hell has happened to the 49ers? Holy crap. Man, you talk about a team crash and burn. We got a big game this weekend, though. Big, huge draft implications as the Jacksonville Jaguars go up against the New York Jets. Whew. Draft space, draft slotting at its best. The Rams are a lot of fun to watch. I tell you, that Puka Nacua, holy cow. Can that dude make some catches? Hey, Ryan saying hello to Mr. Carr, Mr. Cole. Tie. Yeah. Oof. It's going to be Mac Jones versus Aaron. I don't know anymore, man. I don't know. I cannot pick the AFC because I just don't know how the Chiefs can keep doing what the hell they are doing. I think the Lions out of the NFC, as Lawkin says, Bills, Lions. Oh. I was gonna say, wow, Bills, Lions, that's a good Super Bowl. So it could be a Super Bowl preview. Potential. Not hard at all. Chiefs for sure. Locking, the thing that scares me about them is all these, one score games they have been playing. 17-15, 19-17, 30-27, 30-21. They lost that game. But their wins 16-14, 30-24, 27-20, 28-18. That's like the first double digit win they had. And then, so it's going to be interesting. Eagles are going to flop the rest of the season. I don't know about that, John. I mean, what are the Eagles got coming up as far as the schedule goes? They got the Steelers, they got the Commanders, they got the Cowboys, they got the Giants. I don't know. I mean, they could win. I mean, They shouldn't go any worse than 2-2, which gives them a freaking, 13-4 record, which is not that bad. I mean, they should beat the Cowboys. They should beat the Giants. They got Washington. They got Pittsburgh. I mean, they could lose both of those games. They could potentially win both of those games. I mean, so we'll see. Well, if we see the yeah, that's true. That is true. Let's see. Do they have the Super Bowl logo yet? Super Bowl logo. Well, they got a whole bunch of different colors right now. They do have a reddish in there, but then there's some that have purple and black and stuff. Where's the Hawaiian blue? That's what you need, the Hawaiian blue. I wish we would run out with wins, but we could lose one team that has a worse record now. Yeah. Red, yellow, and some green. I mean, Commanders, it's not like their schedule is super easy coming up here. I mean, they got Saints, Eagles, Falcons, Cowboys. I mean, worst case scenario, they should go 3-1 if they lose to the Eagles. I mean, if you go 3-1, you're 11-6. That's pretty. I mean, that's pretty darn good. 11-6. That's not a bad place to be. Oh, so you beat the Steelers? I'm sorry, you beat the Eagles and you lose to the Falcons? Man, that would be tough, dude. I mean, the Falcons are a home game. The Eagles are a home game. Saints are a road game. Cowboys are a road game. You know, Cowboys give you one of those, one of those crazy ones. I mean, right now the Commanders are sitting what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're sitting in the sixth spot. I mean, the Rams. You never know with the Rams, and you never know with the Buccaneers. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, usually split with the Eagles. So, like a lot of teams in baseball, um, Mets got to find another front end of the rotation guy, which is probably Burns. Um, which I don't know. My fear is that they're going to overpay Burns. Well, not overpay. I mean, you can't say they'd overpay Burns because if you can't say they would overpay Burns because if what's his name, if Freed got 218, you can see that. I agree right there. I would much rather see them go ahead and bring Mania. Um, Not sure what they're waiting for, but again, depends on how, you know, what kind of deal he wants. I think they are looking. Um, I think what they are looking at, in my personal opinion, is I think they're looking at these guys, uh, and I think they're looking at him and they're saying, "Hey, Sean Mania, we like you. Okay, you're 32 years old. We're not going to give you a 5-year deal. I just don't. I mean, I think they may. I think they probably want to sign him for a 3-year deal. Kind of like with Severino, they didn't want to give Sevi a 3-year deal. They wanted to only give him a 2-year deal. He didn't want to accept a 2-year deal. So when when they knew he wasn't going to accept two, they pivoted and went for Montas. You know, I don't know whether Montas is equal, lesser, better. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Um, but the Mets were not going to pay Luis Severino $30 million a year. And when you think about it, that's what he got from Oakland. He got 3 years, $67 million, $32 million a year for that guy. Mets weren't going to pay that to him. You know, Mania, we have to see what's going to happen there. But I agree. Will be more teams in on him for a fourth round pick instead of a 1A. True. True. Um, but why isn't it signed yet then? I mean, if more teams are going to be involved in him, wouldn't you want to scoop him up before more pitchers get signed and drive the price up more? I mean, if you look at what Sevy got, you look at what uh, Freed got. I mean, that's some decent money right there. What did Voli get? Avoli's coming back on a 3-year deal. Nathan Avoli got 3 years, 75 million. I mean, and Evoli is he's 34 already. So I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. I really don't know what's going to happen with some of these guys. You know, I think the Mets are willing to go ahead. I'm surprised with that being the number for Freed, unless they don't have any plans of going after Burns and they plan on going after Mania. I'm not really sure what the Mets could do, unless they're going to trade. There was a rumor that they potentially um, were going to talk to Seattle about Louis Castillo. Not sure. Not really sure why Seattle would want to trade him. From that standpoint, um, I don't know if I'd give up a young buck that the Mets have. I don't know if I would give how many young guys. Seattle's definitely in a place to go if you think you can pry a pitcher away. I mean, Castilla is probably the one out there. Is Cease a free agent? I think Montgomery is, right? I didn't realize Cease was a free agent. I thought he signed a big deal with San Diego. But with Kirby, Gilbert, Miller, and Wu, and I know they have, I think, a couple of, Cease for trade. I don't know. There's talk that the Japanese guy might go to San Diego. He and I think Yu Darvish are supposed to be really good friends. Cease was traded to San Diego. Oh, that's right. They got Emerson Hancock. I thought Cease signed as a free agent. My bad. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize it was a trade. Excuse me. Um, I didn't realize that Cease was a trade. Yeah, D-back says, hey, that was a bad deal on his side. He did not like that at all. Um, And so San Diego could be in the play for the Japanese dude. Was Cease hurt? Um, Cease is with the Padres, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah. Dylan Cease, he's 28 from Milton, Georgia. Yeah, I didn't realize he was a trade. I thought Dylan Cease, Verlander, and Scherzer are free agents. You could probably get them for 1 year. Yeah, I no, thank you. We can go ahead and they can stay away. Nope, don't need that dude either. No, thank you. Yeah, again, I didn't realize that Cease could potentially be available. That's pretty darn good. Um, what's it going to cost, though? I mean, I think that's what you have to look at. What is it going to cost? Let me see something here. Let me go to my sport track thing. Oops. Ah, son of a gun. Yeah, I don't think we need him. Not a guy I think we should go ahead and attempt to get. Trade Monte for Monto. Who's Monto? Am I missing something from something? Who is Monto? Yeah, and I heard that Montgomery. Oh, I thought Montgomery might be a free agent. Didn't he sign a? I thought maybe he's just signed a 1 year deal. Luzardo is an interesting one. I Someone had said that one of the you know pundits said that the Miami actually likes Brett Beatty a lot. And if you could go ahead, in my opinion, if you could go ahead and trade if you can trade a Brett Beatty and maybe another just lower tier, a second tier prospect to Miami for Lozardo, I would be happy with that. It's not what I want to search. It doesn't. No, go ahead. That would be a pretty good trade. I wouldn't mind pulling off something along those lines. Let's see. Oh yeah, so Dylan Cease was traded to the White Sox. Man, they didn't give up that much. Christopher Wilson, Drew Thorpe, Zavala, and some other dude. Oh, yeah. Well, that's smart on his part because I guarantee you he wasn't going to whatever his player option was, he was not going to go ahead and get that kind of money, Mr. Montgomery. Yeah, there's no way he was getting that amount of cashola. From that standpoint. Wow, SGC is going to be at the Pittsburgh Card Show. They're accepting take-home submissions, $15. Yeah, I mean, he may be your left fielder, Dom, unless we're going to bring one of the kids up. Unless we're going to bring one of the kids up to play the center field. We're going to have Soto and left. I mean, Soto and right. Depending on what you do, you can have Nimmo. Nimmo's going to be either your left or your center, and then you have somebody else going the other way. That'd be fun to watch when people hate the gray. That yeah. What the hell's going on? McNeil Batty, I think is. I personally am not sure what they're going to do with Batty, but I just don't see him uh, as a long-term solution anywhere. Well, that's true. You do have Siri and Taylor. That's true. You could platoon them. I forgot about those two. Yeah. I mean, um, if we think that, he could Montgomery could return to some kind of form, might have been, but when you think about it from a standpoint, when you look at um excuse me, when you look at Montgomery's career statistics, they're really not that good. I mean, it's not taught, when you look at him, you know, it's not like he has been an unbelievable, pitcher. I mean, he came into the big leagues in 2017, so he's 41, 46, and 41. I mean, he hasn't won more than 8 games in a year, and that was last year. He went 8-7. I'm not sure, I want that. Yeah, it's true. There are plenty of veterans that you could sign. Canna. Yep. Yeah, but Montgomery was 8-7. It wasn't like Montgomery doesn't even have. But what I'm saying though is Montgomery doesn't have a track record that makes you think, "Ooh, there's a top of the rotation guy." Blake Snell's a Cy Young Award winner. He is, but we don't need a 3 or 4. You need a Burns. You need a 1 or a 2, because the problem you have is you don't know about Kodai. If you don't have Kodai, if you were to, let's say, get Montgomery, who you might have penciled in at 3, if you don't get Burns and you don't go ahead and get Kodai, and let's say you don't make a trade, all of a sudden now Montgomery becomes your 1. That's the problem. That's why I think we're going to see Burns, potentially go ahead and come. I just don't think I understand about it, but you have to look at it from a standpoint. I mean, he averages 17 starts. Well, I'm going to take 2 years away when he didn't do much of anything, you know? Yeah, he has to be. He is the linchpin to that starting staff, especially if they don't get a number 1. If they don't sign Burns or figure out somebody to trade for, Kodai has to be healthy all year long. Yeah, Montas is not. I'm going to tell you. See, I think Montas. I think Montas is you're looking into, in my opinion, Montas Severino. When they both were coming off different kind of years. I'm not opposed to the Montas signing. It's not a lot of money, $17 million. $17 million, not a lot of money. Yeah, sure. Um, from that standpoint. But I think the Clay Holmes one surprises me because the guy's been a reliever, and all of a sudden now you're going to use what, spring training to try and break him in. That's uh and he's 31. He's 31 years old. The last time he started a game in the major leagues was when he was with Pittsburgh in 2018. So why you want to trade him? Why you want to try and move him into the starter's role? I don't understand. I mean, the guy had 32 saves. He did below 13. Then he had 24 saves. He had 20 saves. I agree. Buto would be the guy you'd want to put in the starting lineup before Clay. I agree there. Pardon me. The Holmes one. I don't. I like I said. I don't. I agree. I don't get that. Montas. I think like I said, I think they looked at Montas, they looked at Severino. I don't think they pictured any difference except for the fact that Louis wanted a lot of money and he wanted a longer term deal than what they gave to Montas. So I'm okay with that one. What they're going to do going forward, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who might be available for trade. Um, you know, where do you go to consider getting somebody? You can't even go, let's say, to the Tigers now and try and get Hake. Could you unload a bunch and get Scooble? Because why are they going to go ahead and get rid of the Cy Young guy, especially when they made the playoffs last year? Hard to go ahead and give up on him. Um, you talk to Cincinnati. Are there a couple of maybe young guys there you maybe consider? But if the thought is you need a number one, where are you going to go to a team that's going to give up a number one? Unless you made a call down to Texas and you said, hey, is number 48 available? What do you think? You know, you willing to pay some of his salary? You know, might be worth a flyer. Who knows? But if to me, I think the only place you're probably going to go to try and get a top of the rotation, if you consider Jose Lazar, if you can't, I'm sorry, not Jose, Jesus Luzardo, a top of the rotation guy, you got Miami and you got Seattle, who has an abundance of pitching. But if you're going to get an abundance of pitching, you're going to have to give up Young, because what are you going to do? You're not going to trade them McNeil and McGill, right? So they're going to want Young stuff back. Then there's nobody I think out west in National League West you're going to talk to. So I don't know. What if they pay half of it? It would be nice. It would be very. Oh, again, dollars and cents wise, I could care less about the money. Um, I don't really care about that part. I get where you're coming down. Dom, you're a uh, international money draft pick guy. I get it. That's cool. I'm not, so I'm fine with that. Um, but I don't know. Hey, anything's possible. Again, I think when you look at it, there's not many teams. You know, uh, you might be able to go to Pittsburgh. Maybe a Mitch Keller. is available. Maybe you could see about maybe, hey, is a Mitch Keller might not be a bad ad, but again, is Mitch Keller a number one or a number two? I don't think so. So that's what I mean. Luis Castilla is a number one. A Jesus Losardo, probably not a number one, but young enough to where he could be a number one. So I'm not sure. I wouldn't mind them trying to get Jared Jones from Pittsburgh, but he's 23 years old. I can't see Pittsburgh giving up any guys that are, still arbitration available. It doesn't make any sense from that. So when you look at the pitching market, you know, what team is going to give up a player that is on a contender that is a top of the rotation guy? Not going to happen. So then you're really looking at only a couple of teams, and then you have to look at those teams and say, okay, are any of those guys actually worth it? So I think you're still going to see a bunch of moves in baseball. There's still plenty of free agents to be had. Um, you know, Burns, Alonzo, are probably the two out there right now. Where the guy from Japan has been posted. Where is he going to go? Um, excuse me. That's a whole nother thing from that standpoint. Uh, yeah, it's do we have a free agent tracker here? Free agent tracker. The tracker. How do you feel about your Andre Jimenez going to the Blue Jays there, Dami? Michael Conforto joined the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yeah. Now you got to compete with Jeff and Jason for the Blue Jays. Okay. What about Conforto to the Dodgers? That's an interesting signing. 1 year deal. Very, very interesting signing. Very, very interesting. What Conforto get? $17 million. Not a bad deal, man. 238, 35 home runs, 125. That was in 255 games. That was over 2 years. Going to be interesting. Where's he going to get his playing time from? They have plenty of outfielders there you know, in La La Land. So that's going to be interesting. So I don't know. Bill Belichick going back to coaching, going to be coaching for the University of North Carolina. Rich Rodriguez is going back to West Virginia. The freaking basketball team from Georgia beat the New York Knicks, which is freaking disgusting. Unbelievable. So, lots of stuff going on. All right, gang. We've been going for an hour and 10 minutes. Thank you very much for the wonderful conversation, the wonderful baseball talk. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I mean, collecting profit. We didn't talk about collecting, we didn't talk about profiting, but we did go ahead. Yes, I do. I do. I do. I do. They give me reasons for it. It's not like they don't give me reasons, Big John. They give me reasons for me to not like them. Oh, tomorrow night, rolling with FD. Is that how it is in the Big John, is that how it is in on the YouTube rolling with FD? Tomorrow, what time, Big John? What time? Post what time, please. Do, 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 do. Okay, what time? 10 p.m. Eastern. Oh, another late show. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. Go if you're into basketball, TNT, Golden State against Houston. Great game, 45-47. Go check it out. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great week. See you next week. We're supposed to have a guest next week. Hopefully they show.